Everything you seek is already within you. How does that sentence make you feel? Because if I'm entirely honest, it used to irritate the hell out of me. I remember hearing people say it, especially in spiritual spaces, and thinking, what are you even talking about? If everything I seek is already within me, then why do I still want love? Why do I still want freedom, success, stability? And if it's already inside me, then why do I feel so much separation from it? So, for a long time, that sentence just sounded like one of those vague spiritual cliches that people repeat because it sounds wise. But over the years, especially after studying people's relationship with money and the patterns called money wounds, I started to realize something. That sentence actually isn't woo woo at all. It's very literal. It just gets explained terribly. So, in this video, I want to unpack what it actually means in a grounded way. And by the end of this video, my intention is that you feel noticeably calmer about the things you want in life: money, love, success, recognition, whatever it is for you. Because most of the pressure we feel around our goals comes from misunderstanding what we're really chasing in the first place. When people say they want shmoney, they usually think they want the money itself. But if you slow down for a moment, that's rarely the real thing people are after. What they actually want is the feeling they believe money will give them: safety, relief, freedom, space to breathe, choice, maybe a sense of dignity or self respect. The money is just the vehicle we imagine will deliver those feelings. Same with love. When someone says they want a relationship, what they are usually craving is the state that comes with it: feeling chosen, feeling anchored, feeling like someone has your back. Recognition works the same way. People think they want validation or success, but underneath that is the desire to feel seen, respected, acknowledged. So, what we're actually chasing in life most of the time isn't the external thing. We're chasing the internal state that we believe the external thing will give us. And those states, safety, worth, relief, belonging, they all live in the nervous system. They are internal experiences. This becomes really obvious when you start looking at people's relationship with money. One of the most common money wounds I see is the safe money wound, the belief that I'm not safe until I have a lot of money. And what happens with that pattern is the nervous system basically treats money like a safety blanket. You use money as a surrogate measure for safety. People feel like they can't relax until they reach some financial number, but the problem is that number keeps moving. First it's 10,000, then it's 50, then it's more, and the nervous system still doesn't relax. This was my main wound. I could never save enough money and feel safe. It was always moving. The goalpost was always moving. Because what you're actually looking for is the internal state of safety, not the number itself. The money just became the symbol of that feeling. Another example is the money trust wound, where people don't feel like they trust themselves with money. They overthink every financial decision. They hesitate, they freeze, they procrastinate. From the outside, it looks like a money problem, but underneath, it's really a self trust problem. They are not actually searching for money, they are searching for a feeling of internal steadiness, like they can rely on themselves. Then there's the hard money wound, which a lot of people carry: the belief that money has to be earned through struggle, effort, exhaustion. So people overwork, burn out, push themselves, hustle and grind constantly. But if you listen closely to what their nervous system is trying to achieve, it's usually a feeling of worthiness. They are trying to earn permission to relax, permission to receive, permission to feel good about themselves. You also see this with the money shame or evil money wound, where people feel uncomfortable wanting money at all. They feel like it makes them greedy or selfish, so they sabotage themselves or keep themselves small financially. But underneath that pattern is usually a desire to feel morally safe, to feel like they are still a good person. And then there's a disappearing money wound, where people constantly feel like money slips through their fingers, it just disappears. Even when they earn it, they feel anxious that it won't stay. That pattern is really about stability. The nervous system is trying to experience steadiness and predictability. When you look at these patterns closely, you start to see something interesting. Money has stopped being a tool, it has become an emotional regulator. People aren't just using money to live their lives. Their nervous system is using money to try to create feelings like safety, stability, worth, and control. And when that happens, money becomes very loaded. It starts carrying emotional weight that it was never designed to carry. This is where that sentence, everything you seek is already within you, starts making more sense. It's not saying you don't need money or relationships or opportunities. Of course, all of that stuff matters. We live in the real world. But what that sentence is pointing to is where the state you're chasing actually comes from. The feeling of safety isn't manufactured by money. The feeling of worth isn't produced by success. The feeling of belonging isn't created by a relationship. Those experiences happen inside your nervous system. The external thing might trigger them, but your body is the place where they are actually generated. And this matters because of how we organize our lives around goals. A lot of people unknowingly build this equation in their mind. When I get the thing, then I'll feel the state. When I have the shmoney, then I'll relax. When I meet the partner, then I'll feel loved. When my work is recognized, then I'll feel worthy. So the nervous system stays tense while waiting for those conditions to happen. But if you realize the state itself is internal, the whole relationship flips a little. Instead of waiting for the outside world to regulate you, you start learning how to access those states internally first. And when that happens, something shifts in your behavior. So before we go any further, I want you to actually try something for a second. Just pause and ask yourself this question. If money disappeared from your life tomorrow, what feeling would you be terrified of losing? Not the lifestyle, not the objects, the feeling. Would it be safety, freedom, relief, the sense that you can breathe? Just notice what comes up because that feeling you're thinking of right now is the real thing your nervous system has been chasing all along. And once you see that, a bit of pressure starts to fall away because you realize the state itself isn't locked behind some future event. Your nervous system is capable of experiencing safety, steadiness, belonging, relief right now in smaller doses. And sure, that doesn't magically solve every external problem in your life, but it changes the way you move through them. Something else tends to happen when people start accessing those states internally. They actually become more effective at creating the external things they want. When your nervous system isn't constantly operating from fear or lack, your behavior changes. You think more clearly, you make decisions differently, you take opportunities you might have avoided before. You stop putting so much emotional pressure on outcomes. People often assume that if they stop chasing something from desperation, they'll lose motivation. But most of the time, the opposite happens. The frantic energy disappears, but the capacity to act actually increases. It's a bit like trying to drive a car with the handbrakes on versus releasing it. The car doesn't suddenly vanish, it just moves more smoothly. This is why I often say that when the state you're seeking is outsourced to money, money starts controlling you because your nervous system believes its survival depends on that external thing behaving a certain way. But when the state becomes something you can generate internally, even if it's just in small moments, money goes back to being a tool again. You still want money, you still build things, you still create success, but your nervous system isn't clinging to it like oxygen anymore. There's a little more space around it. So when people say everything you seek is already within you, they're not saying the external world doesn't matter. They are pointing to the fact that the experiences we're trying to access through the world are produced inside us. The world just gives them shape. Money might give safety a form, Love might give belonging a form, success might give self respect a form, but the capacity for those experiences lives in your body. And when you remember that, your relationship with goals changes slightly. You still move toward them, you still care about them, but your nervous system isn't waiting for them to finally let you feel okay. You start feeling a bit more okay on the way there. So take a bloody breath, take a nap, take a day off, delay that decision. You'll be okay. Take a chill pill. Thank you so much for watching. Sending you love, and I will see you in a jiffy.